Yeah, what's up, guys? Thanks for hopping on. Day before team practice tomorrow, the official start date for across the country, the 28th, and that gives college baseball 3 weeks of team practice. So skill instruction time right now, and looking forward to having these guys for 4 hours a day and 20 hours a week and playing a bunch of inter-squad games as much as we can. So excited for that. We've been able to be outside with skill instruction. The work has been good. The returning core has been outstanding. Obviously an exciting group for us, bringing back 6 to 7 regular returning starting position players who were a part of that offense, which was second in the league last year, hit over 300. Obviously, we've got 97 RBIs to replace and 19 homers or 18 homers and what that is, and 2 guys who left for professional baseball in Manzardo and TP. Obviously, we've got Zane and Brandon to replace, but I know we'll be talking about that today, but we're really excited. We're old. We probably are going to be the oldest team in the pack. We have a lot of experience, more positionally than on the mound in terms of, being in key spots. However, you bring back Taylor, Hawkins comes back, Barrison continues to improve. Calver is better. Kometko is better. Haft is better. We have a lot of experience. So excited about that. Excited about the schedule. We get to be Pullmanites as normal, get on the road for 3 weeks. But we're not complaining. We're going to Hawaii for 4, then we'll be in Arizona, and then we'll be in Frisco. So our first week's going to be awesome. And then we open up with the Beavers here at home, and we'll unveil an RV program and a new season ticket policy. So hopefully we'll have those tailgaters primed and ready for the Beavers come week 4. So a lot of great stuff going on, and ready to get going, and really, really excited about team practice tomorrow. So 1 day and counting, and can't wait. So thanks for jumping on, and let's talk Coug baseball.
Thanks, Skip. First question is going to be Jamie Vinnick from Coug Fan. Go ahead, Jamie.
Afternoon, Coach. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Jamie? We're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
Snow's on the ground, and we got baseball here in a couple weeks.
It's baseball season in Pullman.
Ever get used to that?
No, but no, it's amazing. We had that one storm, 3 weeks ago. Mike and the field group came out literally the first day of school, plowed. We've been out, the kids have been able to be outside every day, and you come out and you look outside of our window, and guys are hitting on their own every day. So, we can play. It's just cold right now. So by the time we get to March, we know that weather will be primed, and we'll start those 4:00 games for that reason, and get to April, and it'll be warm.
You're talking about kind of the presence on the mound a little bit. Do you kind of have your rotation pinned down right now?
No, we don't. With starting tomorrow, Jamie, we're going to go 5-6 guys are going to have an opportunity to do it, but we clearly have a group of guys that we're excited about. Grant Taylor just has been outstanding throughout the fall. He throws a bunch of strikes. He's been great. We bring in a bunch of left-handed pitching. If you look at us last year, we were just so right-handed. I think that's typically probably a mark of a program in transition, and both heavy right-handed at the plate, heavy right-handed on the mound. So, there were some series where we were really in trouble matchup wise, but we brought in 4. In fact, we brought in 5 left-handed pitchers, make that 6, but we're looking at 4 guys right now, who are old and experienced, who have an opportunity to be in the rotation, as well as Hawkins, as well as Brotherton. But, McMillan is a 4.24 from Houston. He was a top 30 transfer, according to D1 baseball. Matt Erickson is a grad transfer from Yale, another left-hander. And then you've got the 2 kids from Spokane Falls have been outstanding, and Cottrell and Liss. And there's 4 experienced lefties with Grant and a lot of guys who saw some real action last year. So, but those 5-6 guys over the course of the next 2.5 weeks are going to get the ball. So we'll start 6 guys in our 3-game series over the weekends, and see who's going to pan out. But the good thing is we know we have 4-game series for the first 3 weeks, essentially. So we're going to need 4 starters, and we've got a competition of about 6 guys going after that right now.
Do you have an idea who's going to be kind of your opening day guy in that first game against Hawaii?
We don't. Grant's certainly in the conversation, but those lefties that I just described as well. 4-game series can be dicey, so you really want to make sure that you get out there and you're going after your strike thrower. And at the same time, you've got a nice response on a Saturday, so you can keep your bullpen where it needs to be on Sunday, Monday in those 4-game series. So We will have, I think, a really good idea at the end of next week as we get into Feb 6, 7. I think I know we'll have a clear idea of where we're going to go. But Grant's in the conversation, that's for sure.
And just kind of looking at the lineup, obviously, a lot of production to replace in terms of Manzo and TP. When you kind of are inserting guys into the lineup, whoever it may be, do you kind of, in your mind, keep a lot of the same things, with Cody at the top and kind of Montez and Vandy in the middle, or is it going to be just kind of a total shuffle, with Russell maybe moving up and some of these new guys kind of filling in wherever?
Yeah, Jamie, right now, I think you look at it and you look at experience and where guys have been successful and how they've been successful. And if you look at that just based on last year, Colden, Smith, Montez, Vandy, those guys were hovering in the top 6. And then Meyer was floating in the 7 where he was honorable mention all pack, and Russell was 300 in the 9 hole. And next thing you know, all those guys are back. So I would expect us to probably use some version of that. I think the biggest change is just the opportunity for us to see, particularly over the next 3 weeks, how our left-handed bats are going to do. Is Jones going to develop? Is Bryce Matthews, the 4.24 from Arkansas, is he going to be able to be a left-handed presence? Same thing with Austin Plante. The potential of Nate Stevens, another Arkansas 4.24. So we've got some left-handed option, and we're really hoping that these guys can surface over the next 2-3 weeks. Because if we do, then we've been able to achieve what we needed to achieve in recruiting. That's a balance in the lineup. If there's a right-handed slider guy, we can defend and attack, and we're not just at the mercy of, hey, it's Montez, it's Manzo, and after that, hey guys, buckle in for that slider. So I think you're going to see some version of those guys remaining at the top, but at the same time, we'd really like to be able to go left, right, balance down through it and make teams have to battle with their bullpen.
How much improvement have you seen from Russell just with him being fully healthy and, just the growth from, being a freshman and kind of getting his feet wet to now expected to be a pretty key part of this lineup?
A lot of improvement. The biggest thing is the body. I think it's his desire to change his body. He just, wait till you see him. I mean, he's strong and he's hammering the ball right now. His rhythm has made the most improvement. I know he hit 300 last year and in the 9 hole, and it was a pretty good run. And when he left the game, it was a big drop for us. We've been able to help that in recruiting as well, but no, he's done a great job. Body's different. He's hitting the ball over the yard. I think the work ethic is different. He's viewed as a leader from those younger guys. I think he's going to continue to ascend as a guy who the older guys looked at as maybe a bridge between, guys with a lot of experience and then that bridge down to those freshmen. But he's done a great job with that, with Hainline and with Cresswell in particular. You see these freshmen who have really jumped in and are at the field all day the way they're supposed to. So done a great job.
Thanks, Skip. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Skip. Next one's going to be Colton Clark from the Spokesman Review. Go ahead, Colton.
Hey, Coach, what's going on?
Hey, Colton, how's it going?
Great, thank you very much. Just clearly the buzz surrounding the program, the outside expectations, clearly that stuff's grown. Is that something you'd like the team to kind of embrace or disregard?
Probably both. But I think more embrace than anything. I think, the program is at a spot where there are expectations within the locker room to make a run and get to the postseason. Our guys are looking at some of those preseason rankings and they're not in it. And yeah, we shouldn't be in it, fellas. We haven't done anything. And I think that's where I want them to be is hungry. And, and I think it's great when you're always chasing and needing to prove, but we do need to prove. We haven't accomplished anything, but what we have accomplished in terms of creating that buzz is there's been an ascension. There's momentum. All things are getting better with recruiting and our athletes and the facility and our grades. And I mean, everybody's just plugging along and doing a good job. So, typically when you get to that third year, that third season, it's kind of time to say, okay, hey, where are we? We've tried to make a jump in our scheduling. We've got a very competitive preseason schedule. The Pac was nice enough to give us the Beavers to open up conference play. Really excited about seeing the best pitching probably in the league, but it's at home. But I think, Colton, again, just to go back, I think really it's both. I think our expectations need to always be higher than the public's, but at the same time, our expectations need to be that we need to prove that we believe and belong in this league and making a run at the postseason. It hasn't been done in, almost a decade. So two postseason appearances in 30 years. So we want to be on the hunt. We want to be chasing it. And we certainly want to know that we have something to prove. But at the same time, we are out there promoting and selling like crazy to get people to believe in where we're going, so we can start to see those stands fill up.
You talked a little bit about the offensive production and, a lot of returners, but a bit lost. Who among the returners do you kind of expect to have a bump in production? And is there any newcomers you think that'll just step into the lineup right away and just produce pretty well at this level?
It's Colton. It's really exciting to see our returners the way they've worked just throughout the fall, but really over the break and what they're doing right now. But they're very specific in their work. The guys are just better. They're stronger. Their plate discipline is better. Their plate awareness is better. Their ability to control more pieces of the plate at this point are better. But Montez is, we've got an old team, and there is nothing better than having experience and guys who have been through the wars. We're cutting up video for a hitters meeting today, and we're looking at clips of guys taking balls in, off, or off, and what you're supposed to do with that. But Montez and Colden and Vandy and Smith, those returners along with Russell right now look really good. So we're really excited about that. From a new player perspective, Highland Hall is going to be a fun player to watch. He was, again, a top 30 transfer, very athletic, a different type of player in terms of range than you've seen in Pullman in quite some time in terms of being able to go get the ball. It's an upper half of the league type of defender in terms of running a double down. Excited about that. Hainline, the freshman, has had a tremendous fall, and that's a cool story because he's a Spokane product and he's just an absolute grinder. Cresswell's another freshman. It's been fun to watch his development. And then I mentioned those guys to Jamie, but those left-handed hitting transfers with Matthews and Plante and potentially Stevens, those guys have got a chance to do some things. They've got some strength that they brought in with them, and gives us an opportunity to be very balanced.
And kind of on the transfers, is there any one of them who at this point, and I know you're just starting practice tomorrow, but anybody who's kind of a hidden gem at this point, maybe somebody who you had high expectations for some of the other transfers, and this guy came in and he's already maybe surpassing expectations?
I think that's a tribute to our staff, Coach Davis and Coach Claggs. And if you look at just the guys that have come in, guys have kind of been as advertised. I think the cool thing about our transfer players that have come in is they've gotten better with their swings. We've made some major swing changes, and I think when you can do things like that with rhythm and stance and setup and things like that with older players, it's a tribute to them in terms of their trust and their willingness to just want to get better, and it makes it really fun to coach those guys. So we're definitely excited about the guys that we brought in, and they've kind of been as we had hoped they were, and that's a really comforting place to be at. You get those transfers in and they just fall on their face. It can be a real problem. Yeah.
Among the pitchers, anyone starting out, you talked a little bit about, I'm assuming that, well, obviously competition coming in camp and everything, but right now, would it be fair to assume that Taylor's probably at the top for the ace role? And then is there anybody that starting out fall camp is maybe the number one, relied on long reliever, and then maybe a late, like a closer type guy?
I think what's safe to say is just where Grant is right now within his experience and being a part of the rotation. And I'm not being, coy or anything like that. Colton, we've had a really cool fall. We have dudes going at it, and they are going at it, and everybody is chasing that lead dog role. We have a lot of guys who can throw the ball 91 to 93, go get a 4, maybe a 5, but we have a lot of that 91-4 stuff going on. Guys are doing a really good job right now with secondary stuff in terms of strikes. And we're really just the last couple of weeks going down into who's going to have the best opportunity with that third pitch to create some havoc with Mix. And we've got some spin rate, but, with McMillan and with Erickson and with Cottrell and Brotherton and Hawkins, everybody's kind of going at that thing, and Liss. It's been really cool to see. Grant's by far been the most consistent of all of them from day one of the fall up until now. but these guys are going at it. Just watching what they've done in the bullpen, their velos are going up. They're all left-handed and control the running game. So they're really still going at it. And that's probably as best as I can say it, because it's the truth. Nobody has surfaced for the lead dog, but we got a bunch of guys who want to be in front of that pack.
Last one for you, might be kind of a tougher question, but coming off the first full season here, I guess what are your kind of primary takeaways from that first full season of Pac-12 play? Is there maybe something you learned, about coaching at this level, or that you didn't expect, or does anything pop in your head in that regard?
I think the balance of the league was, and I expected that, being in as an assistant coach and kind of going through those wars. Certainly I'm in a different seat, than I was, but being at New Mexico State as a head coach and had that experience, I just hadn't done it in the Pac. And, there's great coaches in this league. You better have a handle on your team and your culture. But I think the biggest thing to look at for us has been the balance of the league. Not surprising, just that was as expected. I think the biggest thing for us that you saw immediately was you better have balance in the league. You better have left and you better have right, or each week you're really just at the mercy of who you're playing and what's the matchup. You go in and you face Cal and they've got a bunch of left-handed bats, or you go in and face this team and they've got a bunch of right-handed slider, and you've got to be able to defend yourself in the recruiting process. And I feel like we've done a really good job of that. I think the biggest takeaway from last year for us, which was the takeaway that we needed to take away, was that the program was going to believe and expect that we can win. You're always falling into that thing where you're playing a jersey. And I thought we did a pretty good job of just playing the game last year. Certainly when you have a Mills, certainly when you have a Manzo, that takes a lot of pressure off. But I feel like we left last year going into this year with the knowledge or belief that we can compete in the league, as can everybody. And so it's now a matter of execution and preparation and discipline and details and commitment and belief. And I think we're in a pretty good spot as we enter the season. We need to make sure our guys know that we need to show up every day with concentration. But I think those are the big takeaways, that we believe that we can win in this league. We're proud of who we are. But we as coaches had to do a better job of getting balance within our lineup, both on the mound and in the rotation.
Thanks so much, Coach. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, Skip, a couple more. Scott Hood from Rivals.com. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Scott. How are you?
Great. You briefly mentioned Highland Hall, the transfer from Miami. You also mentioned you have a lot of returning starters from last year. So where exactly does a guy like Highland sort of fit in the lineup right now?
I don't know. He's had the best fall of probably anybody. He's an incredible competitor, one pitch at a time. I mean, it's a war every pitch. He's got the ability to go get the ball in center field that we don't have and haven't had. So Scott, I don't know. I mean, we could roll him out there and be, here's your first hitter, you go get it. Colden's led off before, so that's an exciting possibility for us. But he is right in the mix to play center field and lead off, or hit in the middle. He's got some power too, so he's going to be pretty fun for people to watch.
What was your selling point to convince a kid to go from Miami all the way up to the Palouse and play for Washington State, a program that you mentioned has not had a whole lot of success historically?
I think it was just the absolute opportunity for him to come in and say, look, here's the roster, because for all these kids and with the portal these days, maybe necessarily you don't know who's coming in, and you try to do the best job if you're a recruit in terms of who's coming in and knowing what the roster is. But I think for him, he looked at it, and I think two things were really exciting for him. But one, we had a pretty good reputation with older hitters in developing some older hitters. We've had a pretty good run, the last few years of developing hitters and offensive players. But I think the opportunity to play center field in a Power 5 league and a Power 5 opportunity. And when you looked at our roster, we had a lot of players coming back, but we necessarily didn't have somebody who was the impact center fielder. I mean, we ran out. Montez was out there, Vandy was out there, Kyler was out there, Nate was out there. We really moved that around. We just played the best hitter. So it was a job that was open. And I think that really got a guy like him to get excited about it. You know, and then relationships as you go through your, you know, the relationships that you have with people who are connected. And we'd like to think that our brand is pretty strong in terms of being good people and telling the truth. And, you know, in the recruiting process, this is who we're going to be, and this is what you can expect. And you hope that comes true for families. And when it does, then it can be a really nice experience.
It looks like you have returning stars at 3 of the 4 infield spots, but who replaces Kyle at first base?
I mean, you know, I didn't even mention McKeon, who was our top hitter in Pac-12 play last year. You know, and the guy hit 350 plus in conference play. So, I mean, we literally have McKeon, Russell, Colden, Smith all back. McKeon's done a great job with his defense. Matthews is working over there as well. He can be an outfielder. There's a left-right punch there, you know, with a potential DH and play first and flip that around based on who's there. But you've got also left-handed with Matthews or Plante that you can run out to the outfield. And next thing you know, you've got, you know, a real split depending on who you're facing. But yeah, I mean, McKeon and Matthews have been over there. And then the one thing that we hold in our back pocket is Smith can just roll over there and you can go from third base, and Jack can go right over and play a great first base. And then you've got Hainline, a freshman who's an elite defender who's come in. So our defense will be vastly improved, but more importantly, Scott, it'll just be deeper. If Russell rolls an ankle, we're going to be able to defend ourselves a lot better, you know, than we have in the past. And I think that's just the natural ascension progression of just recruiting and improving.
I want to ask you about this tournament that you're going to in Texas. You're playing Texas A&M, which of course is in the SEC. You're playing Wichita State, which has been a traditional baseball power for a long time. What exactly was the motivation for that trip? And do you sort of view that weekend as sort of maybe a gauge of where your team sits right before they start Pac-12 play?
Scott, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. So, no, I mean, what a great tune-up. I mean, we're so pumped that Frisco offered us the opportunity to come in. I mean, it's 3 legit programs. I mean, Coach Heller at Iowa, they're going to be able to hit. Wichita, I mean, they continue to get better with Coach Wedge. And then, now Schloss and A&M, and they're killing it with recruiting. So we're probably going to play in front of 8,000 to 10,000 in Frisco on that opening night. What a tremendous opportunity for us to do that prior to Oregon State. And we just thought, I mean, we know we have to be on the road, and it was just, we would like to really target week 3 if we could get tuned up in terms of let's go see 94.6 on the mound for our hitters, because we're going to see an opening weekend at Pac play. That was really the motivation. But dude, what a sick tournament. I mean, it's going to be really, really big league, and we're really excited about it.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, last chance for questions for Coach Green. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll go last chance. Any questions out there? All right, Coach, I'll give you the form one last time. How excited, any changes around Bailey Brayton Field? I know you've talked about the RV program, but how excited for you to be back at year 3 at Washington State?
Well, you know, we're sitting here in the BTO. Bobby, thanks for asking that. But I mean, we couldn't be more excited. It's year 3. The momentum in the athletic department right now is phenomenal. The support from the department is phenomenal. But I just want to reach out to the fans. I mean, as an opportunity to get in front of this, but we have something that I don't think we've ever done here. We certainly do it for football if you've been to Pullman, but right outside the window for football weekends, it's filled with RVs. And it was my goal and vision and dream when we got the job here to do the same for baseball. And hopefully we can hammer this, but it's open. We've got RV sales going. If you're a season ticket holder, we're closing in on surpassing 18's mark of new season ticket holders here. We're going to have a season ticket. You'll be hearing from me tonight, fans, if in terms of going out and being an RV holder and a season ticket holder. But I just want to promise to the fans that, yes, we will get the hats out to you. Number 1, we had a lot of traction on social media. But 2, we're going to be tailgating at Bailey Brayton this season. So opening weekend with the Beavs, we will have RVs out there. I will have mine out there. The president's family is going to be out there. This is supposed to be a fun environment, Pac-12 baseball, where we barbecue and we tailgate for a weekend and we support our players. We're going to do everything we can to jam this place and sell it out. And we're starting with RV tailgating and parking throughout the weekend. So fans, Colton, Jamie, get your RVs ready. roll out here. Let's get the tailgate going. Let's get the dogs going. If we win, the coaches will be out there with you. If we lose, we'll just stand there and bunker and hide. But we plan on being out there with the fans. So we'll see you out here really soon.
Think I can afford an RV, Coach?
A C-Class is fine, and we can always go 1-800-RV rent. Yeah. No, it's on though. We're excited. We're really going to be picking people up tonight and calling. And, that really is the vision, is to jam those tennis courts lot and create the overflow that we have to be in this parking lot. And the next thing you know, we've got 30, 40 RVs for a baseball weekend. And we've got the SEC environment that we should have up here in the Northwest, where when that sun peaks out, we're partying and we're enjoying Coug athletics.